Well, good morning, everybody. Happy TGIF. So, this morning we have the good microphone courtesy of Dan from Discord, who hasn't been around in a while. He's probably his, hopefully, his business is busy and he's working hard and making a lot of money. But microphone courtesy of Dan. Last night I got I got a big thing that has like I don't know, 6 USB ports on it and two HDMI ports, a printer port. Anyway, so I've got this thing working now. We can have camera and we can have microphone audio, video plus audio. Sometimes I'll probably go back to just the audio because it makes the screen bigger and stuff. I guess I can do that right now. Well, anyway, all right. So let's see what's going on. Did I just hear that the Supreme Court struck down the tariffs? I would think that would be good news. But we'll see how the market's taking it. So here we go. Let's look how it's affecting the SPY. Let's see here. Not at all. SPY is up 14 basis points. So starting off to be another boring day. Now I heard the number was bad this morning, but I didn't get up in time to see it. And it looks like it sold off on the. Let's see here. When was this low made? 8:30. Well, it didn't really look like it did sell off too much on the number. Anyway, market's rallying now, so that's good. Qs are up 1/3 of a point. Wonder how my portfolio is doing. I'm going to get it open over here on this other one. All right. So now let's look at Bitcoin. Well, this is just balancing right here, or at least IBIT is. Tons of supply on top of this. I'd like to get up there and find it. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. All right. Okay. I'm up more than I was yesterday. My portfolio's been killing it lately. I'm up 7 points. 7 points. So 3/4 of a point, which is pretty good since the market's not up that much. But my high beta stuff is working today. ULTY had a wonderful day yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't have that much of it anymore. Or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But anyway, all right. So let's. Speaking of that, let's look at gold and silver. Speaking of stuff, others. Speaking of stuff, so gold's only basically flat, and it was a lot higher. Looks like it's selling off. Silver is down about 3/4 of a point. No, that's not silver. I do that every morning. Wonder what Shoulder Industries is. All right, silver futures are up 3%. Great job. That's helping my portfolio right there. So, all right. All right, we'll look at that in a second. Silver, gold, Bitcoin. So I guess we've checked it out. Let's see if oil's still breaking out. And this isn't really oil. This is USO, but a lot of the funds trade USO, so it's a high yield funds and it follows oil. All right, so that one is still breaking out. We were looking at it yesterday, actually. Let's look at light sweet crude because I put a descending trend line on it. I thought maybe I did not. Well, anyway, it's trading at 66. All right. Well, let's look at some other stuff. So let's look over here at blocks. Down 1.3 today. Let's look at ULTI from Rex shares. This one's down 1.5 also. So blocks and ULTI both getting hit this morning. Let's look at Alt Y from YieldMax, not to be confused with Alt I from Rex. Good job, YieldMax. YieldMax is having another good day. They've been doing great lately. Or not YieldMax. ULTY has been doing much better. All right. So, but like I say, I outsmarted myself and sold it and bought ones that are doing worse. So I actually hurt myself by switching out from multi to blocks. But I mean, so far I've hurt myself. Maybe it'll work out later, but anyway. All right. So I did get a little K yield also, and K yield is outperforming ULTY. So that, since I got it, so that was good, but the blocks is underperforming a little bit. All right, or quite a bit compared to KYLD is also up a little bit this morning, but not too much. Let's look at ISSB. This is stocks and Bitcoin, and this one's up 1.1. Let's look at IESBG. This is Bitcoin and gold plus income. That one's up 1%. All right. Let's look at MAGO. This is the only reason I like this one, and I just have a small amount, but I'd like to get more before the next rally, is it has unlimited exposure, unlimited upside exposure to the Mag 7. It's a lightning spread Mag 7 fund. And then there's MEMY. Actually, now that I say that, I swear I think MAGO, for whatever reason, is zero DTE options and not lightning spreads calls. But so it's still uncapped tonight. But MEMY is a lightning spread fund, and it's up 2% today. All right. So speaking of lightning spread funds, let's look at QLDY. This is one that people don't talk about. That's actually a really good one. This one's down 11 basis points today, but this one, compared to those other divas, has been holding its own. So I guess we can look at that visually right here. All right, so I put the latest dividends. This is all up to date. Let's look at the daily percent change. It looks, the daily percent change, it looks like a real quiet day. It's quieter than yesterday. Yesterday's quieter than the day before or the day before. Anyway, you can see volatility coming out of the market. Even in the divas, it's coming out because these divas, at least so far in the day, aren't way up or way down. ULTI's leading the way down, of course. Blocks is right there behind it, I'm sure. All right, so let's go to the rolling total return. So the one that's doing best, as usual, is Chip Y, I should say. And now SPY is, about flat for 4 months. Qs are actually down 3% on 4 months. QLDY does lightning spread on the Qs, so it tracks the Qs. You get an extra helping the downside, but the payoff is the upside isn't capped. Well, this one's not doing well because the Qs haven't gone up. Just like any of these other ones, it's these need the market to go the direction. And they may not need it. They can also do all right in a flat market, but they really do better in a bullish market, every single one of them. And we just haven't had that lately, especially the high beta ones. But we haven't had that lately. K yield is trying to differentiate itself from GPTY, which is one of YieldMax's better funds. That's why it's on here for comparison purposes. GPTY also gives you big tech exposure, a lot of Mag 7 and big data stuff in there, but it looks like K yield has passed it recently. K yield was dogging it, but K yield has had a bunch of gold and silver, and K yield got hurt in the gold and silver pullback. Yeah, what is this saying? It says the Supreme Court ruled 6-3. They struck down most of the tariffs. Yeah, he didn't have the constitutional power to do that. Well, I mean, that's of course. All right. Well, I mean, that's what the Supreme Court said, not me. But I mean, all right. ULTY is kind of trying to separate itself from WPay. It's really been doing well lately. I mean, compared to WPay, compared to LFGY, compared to blocks, and compared to ULTI. Now, I know that's kind of a low bar, but anyway, glad to see it's going the right direction. But really, that's why I made this. If you look, ever since the gold and silver debacle, all of them are going the right direction. Now, unfortunately, ULTI is the only one of them that made a new low. Factoring in the dividends, which you have to do. Now, blocks made a higher low, and so did LFGY, so did all of them. But every single one of them got hurt in the sell-off. Even SPY, SPY doesn't have much gold and silver, but anyway, but I think also crypto sold off at the same time. But anyway, but it really put the hurt to K-Yield. K-Yield was almost above water. And they're using gold and silver for a hedge. But if you read Michael or Matthew Tuttle's newsletter the other day, you understand gold and silver is not a hedge; it's a diversifier, or it's a bet on currency debasement. But it's not really a hedge in the sense that buying puts are a hedge or other things. All right, well. Let's look over here and let's look at your comments. Yeah, I know it's oil. I thought USO. It is U.S. oil business. Okay. But I used to always say it's oil stocks because I've known that my whole life. I used to sell it when I was a broker. Maybe not. I don't know if it was around in the 90s, but anyway, I know all about it. So I was saying oil stocks, and someone corrected me and said it's oil futures. And check the daily, of light sweet crude. So it's oil. Well, so I was wrong to say it's stocks. I always thought it was stocks. I thought it was a fund of funds that had Exxon and stuff in it. I think that's more like XLE. I think when I looked at it, it just buys futures. So let's see here. Yeah, WTI. They have $1 billion worth of WTI. The April contract. Then they have some swaps in whatever MQC is, and Societe Generale. That's some type of index company, and that's probably some type of index. But anyway, so what kind of percentage is this? Okay, they have $1 billion worth of oil and about 1.5 or 150 mil of these swaps, and then gosh darn it, then down here they have about $1 billion also. But anyway, I always thought it was stocks too, but I think it's actually not. I think it's just futures. All right. Oracle Fast Money Loser says oil is going boom. Yes, if there's a strike on Iran. What oil stocks are you interested in? Yeah, I'd like to hear. Taking out a HELOC and going to buy that. Going to buy some high yield oil. What are some good oil funds you plugged into? Well, now what? What do you mean? I didn't sell oil. No, I didn't sell. When I was a stockbroker in the 90s, but actually, how long has USO been around? I've sold a lot of SPY and a lot of other. I'm obsessed with index funds because I'm obsessed with diversification. The brokers in my office were selling shitty mutual funds. Mutual funds suck. They'd hide so much fees in there. They were always trying to pressure me to sell mutual funds, but I saw that. But also, my people were more sophisticated because they were option people and math people. So I had guys that wrote put spreads on Dell. I had guys that bought the SPY, and then I had guys that would actually buy calls or puts on the SPY. I didn't really have people selling premium on the SPY, but I was into the SPY. So if USO would have been around, I would have liked it. But now that I'm thinking about it, I may have had something else with oil that I sold, but in Oklahoma, oil's real, oil's hot. A lot of people that are my customers had made money in oil or had exposure to it in some manner. So let's see how long USO's been around. But then I started thinking about maybe I was really selling XLE or some type of other thing that had, that. So let's just go. The SPY's been around since like 95 or something, 93. I'm trying to think of something that's been around longer. Oh yeah, I could put Eli Lilly or just any company. I just want to see how far back USO goes. I guess this only goes to 95. So anyway, you can see because of the deflationary environment of the late teens, that commodities have been cold. But yeah. No, I used to be a broker from like 93 to like 99, 94 to like 99. I got out right before the crash. And then I had another customer that liked to YOLO Yahoo. Just would buy 1,000 shares of Yahoo and then sell it 2 days later, for a $20,000 profit or something. In the late 90s, it just seemed like it went up every day. It was just a total mania. It'd be like, anyway. So yeah, it was a good time. All right. Then I've also, and I'm trying to learn how to trade commodities or futures, but I think that's so much harder than option trading. Anyway, we talk about that later. All right. So let's look at stocktools.app. I'm just so glad I have everything working. I need to still do this though once I start talking. Right, and you guys can still hear me. Yeah, okay. So that way the screens are better. They're bigger. All right. So let's look at I wanted to show what did I wanted? I wanted to show, last time was closing fund Thursday night. I put it on way too late. I'm so sorry about it. But I was getting that new computer stuff set up, and I was actually doing something productive. Anyway, River North Opportunities Fund 1, just for you guys that weren't there. I mean, it's paid a 12.8% yield, but the NAV for the quarter is up 7%. So it's the yield is supported by NAV, at least it has been lately. The stable dex is a 156, which means it's 156 times or 1.56 times as stable or less volatile, however you want to think of it. But since it's called the stable dex, it's 1.56 times more stable than the broader market. So at least it has been. Now we look back at history. We looked back at history last night, and it looked like it blew up in 2008. So I mean, nothing lasts forever. But lately the River North has been good. And anyway, some of these, like I put some on there by mistake that weren't closed-end funds. But anyway, River North was a standout. FAX, SWZ. You know what SWZ is? That's the Total Return Securities Fund. And that one actually has been having a decent quarter here. Then, of course, ASGI. ASGI had a really decent quarter, up 16%. Now, it only paid a 10% yield, unlike some of those other ones that are paying 20, 50 or something. But, of course, because of that, the NAV's a lot better, other things being equal. And but also this one, ASGI takes on more risk. The stable dex is a 0.50, meaning it's half as stable as the overall market. But anyway, lots of those might work for you guys, might not. But like I'll try to have the night show on it like I'm supposed to at 7:30 or maybe at the latest 8 my time. So it's 8:30 or 9 you all's time. And I know you guys are probably going to be going out tonight, and that's awesome. So why can't I ever? This gosh, damn it. Man, nothing ever freaking works on this thing. I mean, the multi-touch isn't working. I mean, I can't. God dang it. Man. No, that's not what I want. Gosh, not what I want either. So now I'm sharing that screen. Gosh damn it, you got to be freaking kidding me. It's not what I'm trying to do. I have no idea where you guys went. This freaking Mac sucks. It's not possible to use a Mac without a multi-touch surface. Those multi-touch surfaces are worth their weight in gold. I mean, Macs are not made for mice. And this is the freaking Apple mice, the one they charge you $99 for, the Apple mouse. It freaking sucks. All right. Well, first of all, I don't even know where the heck you guys are. What in the, man, this computer sucks. Where did that go? I mean, what the heck? And the Windows laptop worked a lot better than this. But of course, it had multi-touch on it because it's a laptop. Windows multi-touch isn't as good as Apple's multi-touch. The trackpad's a little smaller and stuff, but it still worked. But this thing won't even work. It's just a piece of junk. That's why the Mac Mini is so cheap, because it's, gosh darn it, is because the MacBook Pro is so much better. I'm used to MacBook Pros. A Mac Mini is awesome and they're cheap, but you have to get a lot of other stuff to go along with it, or they're made for people that already have a lot of other stuff. I'm a notebook guy, and I've been a notebook guy for 15 years. That's all I've had is MacBook Pros or an occasional good other one. I just don't understand why this is so freaking hard. They just don't handle the multiple windows as well as Windows. Hate to say it. All right, finally. It's like pulling teeth doing anything on this. I should just close my burner accounts, and just put everything on one account and just open up one screen. Man. What are you guys talking about? Yeah, I know it. I need to learn the macros, but I refuse to because I don't want to get too used to those. I just haven't found a good one. I'm going to get a big trackpad. I just haven't yet. I was trying to get, I didn't have enough ports for one now. Now I have enough ports for everything. So I'm running 3 monitors. I'm running, I have a Thunderbolt or a Firewire or Thunderbolt monitor, a good one. And then I have 2 other monitors, and all right. Well, this loaded while I was trying to figure out what the heck's going on. I put it on 1 month though. I want to look at 1 day. I guess we could have gone to the index buffer report also. But let's look at this. This is more comprehensive. So Marcus is saying he likes MLPA personally. Positive on the years, what Marcus is saying. Site could not be reached. Maybe I'm having a connection problem also, or something. Maybe this one's just down. Anyway, all right. For the day, we have this. Okay. Says MST's +5. Is that correct? See, if I had multi-touch, I could zoom over there, but I have to hold the mouse with one hand. And man, it's such a freaking pain. Just to check if MST is really up. Okay, it is really up. I was kind of calling BS on it because, well, because it doesn't look like Bitcoin's having a huge big day, but of course it also matters what Misty's doing for whatever reason, or what MicroStrategy's doing. It matters what MicroStrategy's doing. That informs what Misty's doing. So yeah, Mister's is up 2.9. Okay, so and Misty's up so 2.9. So that would make sense. That other one's up 5 because it's double leverage or around that amount. And Misty's catching about, I don't know, maybe 75% of the upside or something. All right, well, COIW up 4, Coinbase up 3. Great job, COIW. That leverage going to work on the upside for you. Coney up 3.5, where Bitcoin's down, but Coinbase is Coney's actually outperforming Coinbase, which is really good. Those yield max single stock funds can be really good on big up days because they do the covered call spreads. And on a big up day, you guys saw the day where Misty went up 25 and Mister was up 25. That's not going to happen on on a Granite Shares product or whatever. They just sell a put spread at the money. They can only make the money. They can only make a limited amount of money. That's not, that's something. If you like upside, YieldMax gives it to you. With the single stocks, those covered call spreads. Not only that, also they dynamically write. Sometimes they won't write the whole amount, and sometimes they'll scoot the strikes way out of the money. All right. But yeah, here we have it. MSTY beating MSTR. That just doesn't happen. I mean, it's COIW. It used to happen in covered calls. So it used to be a given they were going to underperform. It's given they're going to underperform over time. That's always true because there's no free money, but it's not a given that they're going to underperform every day like it used to be. All right. So GOOW is beating Google. Good job, Roundhill. Roundhill's doing the same thing. Roundhill's putting in some outperformance. I mean, so Roundhill's also reverse engineered it where they found a strategy that can get extra upside. The only problem with Roundhill's strategy is they also get extra downside. All right. Whereas these YieldMax ones get less downside than the parent. So, one of them, both of them, or neither of them may work for you. Rex kind of does a strategy that modifies both of those strategies. So a lot of people like the Rex ones, but I will say today, the Rex ones aren't doing that as well. COII is Rex. It's based on Coinbase. It's catching about 2/3 of the upside. It's a nice, solid job. HOOW catching double the upside on Hood. Good job. Morrow from YieldMax. Look, YieldMax is killing it today. Morrow's even beating on the. That just didn't used to happen before the covered call spread came out. MS2 from our friends at Rex. Now this one's doing better than CO2. CO2 is only getting about 2/3 of the upside. MS2 is getting it looks like about 95% of it. Great day, MS2. Great day. Then we have Hui from YieldMax, and this one's also beating. This must be broken. This must be broken. I bet these underlying prices are from yesterday. YieldMax, and you aren't going to find 5 YieldMax funds in a row that are going to beat on the upside. I mean, you didn't used to be able to find that. I mean, even as good as the covered call spreads are, it's not free money. There's an expense to doing them also. So, but yeah, the YieldMax ones are on fire. In fact, I'm going to go look. Let's just sort for YieldMax. Let's see here. Well, actually, no, I don't want to do that. YieldMax single stock funds. I need to quit clicking the desk. At least I'm not bumping it with my knee from underneath, but I'm trying to be better about being still because this microphone picks up stuff. Okay, so I guess maybe I don't know how to work this. I mean, but I threw the mouse pad away. The mouse pad was metallic and it added to the noise, at least on my end. Now this port I have that has all these USB ports, it has a little fan in it, I guess, and it makes a little noise. It kind of bothers me a little bit. Okay, so what I want here is the YieldMax single stock funds. Come on. There it is. There it is. So this is 51 pairs, 2 groups. Okay, so let's see what we have. Also, should the MLPI, I mean, it's also a way to make a bullish bet on natural resources. Of course, I would think, though, if something happens overseas, that it would affect Brent North Sea crude more than us because that goes through the Straits of Hormuz but the knock on effect, I guess, it could affect us over here. Um, but I would think that it would affect Brent more. In fact, we should look at the price of Brent instead of like light sweet crude. Maybe I'll do that in a second. Okay, so I finally got this working. Okay, so yes, Coinbase is beating, or Coney's beating Coinbase. Misty's beating Mr. Gooey's beating Google by just a little bit. Morrow's winning. Huey's winning. This just, I'm still thinking this is probably wrong. Let's just go pick one and see. I mean, the most obvious example is, and there's some of the ones that you guys care about, because I know some of you guys, I don't know if any of you guys still have Misty, but Misty's one that a lot of people possibly have. So I guess I'm going to have to multi-swing back over here. So this is saying Misty +2. Okay. So let's look at MSTR, which would be strategy, the parent, and it's up 3. Okay, yeah. I mean, it just, I figured. Let's see if any of them are CONY. CONY is +306. Let's look at COIN. No, not M. N. COIN. Yeah, it was BS, of course. Of course. They do better. It is true that the cover call spread is uncapped, some upside. They aren't as capped as they used to be, but yeah, that was BS. I had a feeling it was. It's probably just the quote was pulling from one at one time and the other at the other time or something. All right, so but let's look at Morrow, and Morrow showing unchanged here. And the YieldMax one is Morrow. Okay, but let's see what Morrow is doing. Remember, even this one was winning by a little bit. Yeah, and it isn't. So it was BS. All right. Yeah, Supreme Court strikes down the tariffs. I would think that'd be bullish. I mean, but so far, maybe the reason we've been rallying lately is because people knew the Supreme Court was going to strike down the tariffs. The market is rallying on the news, it looks like. But it may have been that people had anticipated this, and that's why the market's been doing well lately and it's gone back towards all-time highs. People have been talking about it for a couple of months, the Supreme Court, and the decision was supposed to come out today. So, that, I mean, I'm definitely against the tariffs. I'm a free trader. Capitalist. I mean, I wonder how much higher the market would be right now were it not for the tariffs. That set us back too. I mean, we roared right back, but I wonder if the market would even be higher had it never happened. But anyway, I guess we'll never know. All right. Well, at least the Supreme Court's doing the right thing. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. I guess I do need to get some of those keystrokes marked. So if I had the keystroke, I could just slide between the window. Maybe once I learn how to do the keystrokes, I probably won't even want the multi-touch surface. It'll probably be the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So All right, I'm going to Google how to. I'm going to learn the keystrokes, and also I don't have an Apple keyboard. I have a cheap little, uh, Windows keyboard, but I can. It'll work. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Oh yeah, yeah. I know we want to talk about that. Okay, so you're trying 1H. You like that it should recover quickly. Yeah, no, I saw that yesterday. That I saw that they were doing puts, but they were taking but when they were saying that it was their plan when they had profits in the puts. So like after a sell off. So like if they would have been around in April, in theory, they're going to recycle some of the profits in the puts to calls to try to make sure it recovers as fast. Yeah, and I saw where you posted that yesterday. Heck yeah, that is interesting to me. That's definitely interesting to me. For sure. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Appreciate you being here. Remember, not financial advice. Consult a licensed planner. And well, you can, if you'd like to support the station, you can do so there, but you don't got to worry about that right now. All right, guys, just hit like and subscribe. All right, guys, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.